Thank you for checking out crypto.chartguys.com, the source for technical analysis in the cryptocurrency world. We are proud to announce our own crypto alert system designed to give you the most critical technical trading information possible no matter where you are. Keep your eyes on the market with mobile or email alerts for MACD crosses, RSI levels, and even inside bar alerts for dozens of coins across multiple exchanges. New features and proprietary ChartGuys indicators are already in development. Our alert system is very easy to customize and utilize, so don't hesitate to sign up for the most effective crypto trading tool on the market at crypto.chartguys.com. Hello everyone, hope you're doing well and had a good weekend. Looking into the big three, we're also going to look at Ripple here on all time frames. Starting with the daily time frame. So where we left off, and if you've been watching these videos, it's almost like a little continuing story where we check in likely or right around every 24 hours. So where we stood is we entered bullish positions on the daily inside bar bull break, and then as soon as the 15-minute higher low pattern was lost on that move yesterday, I exited my position. I locked in a solid trade on the day, and I left that position because momentum had shifted. So let's just zoom in on the 15-minute time frame, and then we'll come back here where it was a clear uptrend. Here's the reaction to the bulls breaking the daily inside bar. They kept a nice solid uptrend most of the day. Here was the higher lows being lost. This is where I exited ETH because Bitcoin lost that level. And then from there, it's been nothing but consolidation. So just like we watched the trend change on the bounce, we saw the 15-minute time frame give us a higher low and a higher high. We then zoomed out to the hourly and got it. We went to the 4-hour and got it. And then we were not anticipating the daily chart to change any kind of trend because it was coming off of an oversold bounce. And to change the trend, it would have had to have broken the lower highs from 14,500. So we didn't get to that level, and we did not anticipate that we would. We knew we would set a lower high, which is why as soon as the shorter term time frames lost their uptrend, I bailed because I said, okay, we're hitting exponential daily resistance, and I am anticipating this lower high to form because, as I said yesterday, if the bulls want to change this trend, they have to form a higher low on consolidation and then break the lower high pattern. That's the significant turnaround, and that would give us a bullish MACD cross, and that's the only time frame that did not see a reversal for the bulls yet. So it's not game over on this bounce. It's exactly as what we were anticipating. The only thing we didn't know was where's the top of the bounce going to be. And again, because we hit this resistance and then lost the shorter term uptrends, we lost the hourly higher low after the 15-minute, we lost the 4-hour higher low. All of those signals one by one let us know that momentum was shifting back to the bears. And so now we're going to do it all over again. We're going to look for the 15-minute time frame to shift momentum, which it just did. It's now going to higher lows and higher highs again. And we're going to see, can the hourly chart do this now? So the hourly chart has broken the lower high pattern. This was a bounce attempt where we topped out, and that has been broken. So now we'll see if this hourly chart can keep giving us higher lows and higher highs. And if it can, that means to me that the daily chart is likely forming its higher low. And we still need to see that hourly get a little bit more follow through. But if this is our higher low, $1,118 is now a very important level, because if that level is lost, we're going to head back down with the next support, 10,687. So the bulls would love for this to be our higher low and for the bulls to form an inside bar tomorrow and tighten this range up while these exponential resistances continue to drop. And then we would look for a break from there. But it's all about one time frame at a time. So hourly chart needs a higher low and a higher high to be very convincing. The 4-hour chart, which lost a lot of support levels, did hold a key level. You can see down here, 11,050, 11,065, 11,118. It's incrementally forming higher lows and maintaining. This is the most major support on this entire bounce at this point. This level right here at 1150. And because it's bounced 3 times, if that level were to be lost, it would be a very clear short signal and a very clear signal for the bulls to exit any positions. So if you are in a longer term position right now, this is your trend line, or I should say your support line that you're keeping a close eye on. And personally for me, I am all cash and waiting for some more significant signs on the hourly time frame. So again, what that means and how this played out is we were bullish and aggressive when we were in an uptrend on the bounce. We broke the daily inside bar bullish. We got into the trade. As soon as the shorter term time frames were lost, we exited, or I exited that bullish position and knew, okay, this now means I'm going to trade way less. We are no longer in a bullish bounce with momentum behind it. We're shifting momentum. We're giving up the higher low pattern, and the bears are starting to take back over. So I personally have been scaling way back on my trading, and I didn't trade yesterday after I exited, and I traded once this morning on an oversold bounce and only got a partial fill. but fortunately that was enough for a solid gain, and I'll point that out on ETH. But right now I'm in very conservative mode. I know that we are nowhere near changing this trend just yet on Bitcoin, so there's no rush. We can be very patient. We can watch these exponential resistances and see if the bulls on the daily can shift the trend back in favor of the bulls. So ETH has been a little bit different, and the correlation has shifted. If you're looking at ETH BTC chart, ETH is a little bit more bullish now, but obviously still correlated to Bitcoin. So same thing. We saw the inside bar bull break. We topped out here, and that is our new resistance level. And now the bulls are trying to form a higher low. At this point, that higher low is $1,010. And we'll see if we form an inside bar this coming day. So the 4-hour time frame, a bullish reversal candlestick, a couple support levels, not as clear of a horizontal line of support as Bitcoin is, but the bulls have been buying the dips with these lower wicks. We can see the hourly time frame got close to oversold, but didn't quite get there. The lower high pattern has broken, the same as Bitcoin. Now we need higher lows and higher highs on the hourly to get that follow through on the trend change. The 15-minute time frame, let's go back to where I exited my position yesterday. It was when this level was lost. That lost the higher low pattern on the 15-minute chart. And then from there, it's been mostly all bears with some decent bounces. Again, look at the morning. Look at the U.S. morning hours. 6 a.m. Eastern is bull o'clock is what we're calling it in the chat room, because it's when the U.S. wakes up, and we've seen a very consistent pattern where we see some bullish action from the early hours in the U.S. morning. And now where we stand here, the bulls are trying to shift momentum back towards the bulls on the shorter term time frames. I'm not expecting any kind of significant moves, and I think best case scenario for the bulls tomorrow is a daily inside bar. So if I were looking at Ethereum, next key resistance is up at 1,120, and that's actually 1,120.62. And I would be looking at Bitcoin. The next major resistance is up at 12,224. So those are the next lower highs of resistance that the bulls are going to try and get over with the bullish MACD on the hourly in their favor. So momentum is shifting as we head into tonight. Bulls trying to recover. It's not a significant recovery at this point. I see no reason, like I said, to rush to try and get back in a bullish position, because I know that daily chart, unless there's some extremely bullish news gets sprung on us, this daily chart is not going to go anywhere very quickly. It's going to take a little bit longer of sideways trading to see that break. Litecoin, very similar. High of the bounce is our new resistance level. That's up at 214.88. And the bulls are trying to form a higher low, 183.12. So there is that higher low. And same thing, the time frames are shifting. The 4-hour time frame, again, this is a common pattern where it's a weaker pullback. We lost these support levels on Litecoin, and before the bull move a couple days ago, it was the same scenario where Litecoin lost this support level here and formed a lower low, and it just did it again, even though Bitcoin and Ethereum did not. So slightly more bearish when we see consolidation for Litecoin taking out support levels. And if you were going only on Litecoin technical analysis, you'd be getting so many fake outs. That's why it's so important to be utilizing the correlation of Bitcoin to be making the majority of your decisions on these other coins. So Litecoin on the hourly time frame has bounced and broken the lower high. Again, the lower high was here where we saw a bounce attempt. The bulls topped out, couldn't get any further. We headed down, formed a higher low, and then broke the lower high pattern. So the bulls are shifting momentum back in their favor. The 4-hour time frame needs some follow through. Again, same thing, not anticipating much to happen tomorrow. Ideal scenario would be for an inside bar on the daily time frame. That would give us a nice clear level to be watching next day on Tuesday, if that is how we end up over the next 22 hours. Again, this candlestick just started. We have a long way to go, and we're closer to the low than the high, which is why I say it would be in the bulls' advantage if we could hold on and form this inside bar. So all three still very similar, slight differences between them. Ethereum is still my horse when I'm playing because of just the sweet spot in terms of liquidity and feeling comfortable with position sizes and maneuvering in and out. Let's go over that Ethereum trade that I made earlier today. And it was just the kind of move where I was being cautious because I knew the trend had shifted. And it was down here. And we got to a point where the 5-minute RSI was pretty oversold, but the 15-minute and the hourly was still in the low 30s. I'm not that comfortable when that is the case. I am much more comfortable if that 15-minute and hourly RSI is in the upper to mid 20s, and then I begin scaling in. If I start scaling in when it's only the 5-minute oversold, I'm a lot less cautious, and I put more space in between my orders. So here on this pullback, I had an order at 1021.15 is my first buy-in order, and that was 20 to 22% of my capital. And then I had another one down at 1,000, 11 and 15, and then I would have had another one just above 1,000. Only my first order got filled before the bounce started, and I just let it go, and in 10 minutes I sold it from $1,021 to essentially $1,050. So, you figure, oh, I didn't get the trade that I wanted. I was being extra cautious. I got filled with 20% of my total capital, and it ended up taking my entire account at 0.5% on really just 10 minutes of trading, and didn't get anywhere near the ideal scenario that I wanted in terms of the amount of coins filled. So that's just an example where I was being really protective. The trade didn't go the way that I wanted it to, but because I went protective in it, it was very low risk to reward, and it allowed in the end of the day, just looking back in hindsight, 2 years ago, this would have been a very significant day maker. And now, because of the compounding of profits, it seems like a small day, and because of the volatility we've been seeing. But in the end, if you take your account 0.5% and compound it, if you do that every day, you will gain a lot of money very quickly. So it sounds minimal, 0.5% profit, but if it's consistent, it does add up. So let's check in on Ripple. Ripple, there's again, the weekly time frame is extremely bullish. We established a higher low. I'm looking for a weekly equilibrium pattern to likely begin playing out. And from here, we're looking for a higher low on the daily. And I'm looking for a higher low because the magnitude of the bounce and the volume behind it these 2 days tells me that we are likely to form a higher low. And then it's up to the bulls. Again, same thing as Bitcoin. If we're going to change this daily trend, which is lower highs and lower lows for the past month, we have to form a higher low and then a higher high. And at this point, we're just trying to form that higher low. Bulls would love to hold 130 from here and for that to be the higher low, but we don't have a whole lot of confidence at this point. You look at the 4-hour time frame, we're just defending this level and trying to turn things around. The hourly chart breaking the lower high pattern, just like Bitcoin, still very significantly correlated, and a good sign that we are starting to change this momentum. Let's see if we can keep hourly higher lows and higher highs going throughout the night. The same for any of these coins. If we cannot keep hourly higher lows and higher highs going throughout tonight, we need to be very cautious because that tells us the shorter term bears is still in control, and we are not confident that our daily higher low has been established at this point. So that's where we stand as we head into tomorrow. We'll check back in tomorrow, and I am not in any rush to get in a position where we stand right now. So I appreciate you watching. Hope you all had a good weekend, and remember, do those good things.